Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Canning, and today we're going to be walking through week 4, step 3 of BigCamp. So this step is going to focus on making fetch happen. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be creating a front end for the user to be working on. So the front end is what the user is going to be interacting with. They're going to be clicking buttons on here in order to be able to upload an image to create our Dropbox clone app. So this is what they're going to do to upload our image, and then later they're going to be able to download this image from another device. So let's go ahead and look at this, making fetch happen. Today we're going to learn how to use a function called Azure function. Cool. So let's go ahead and see, modify the function and use await fetch to send the form into to your bunny image Azure function. Let's go ahead and remind ourselves what we have so far. We have this thing right here. If we just go to upload this, we call it test, submit, get the correct answer, or what we want, right? But let's say we delete our code name right here, get a no name error. So the user is forced to upload a file and specify a name. So let's go ahead and look at what actually happens. We can delete the console.log there. But what actually happens is we're going to do bun form, add event listener. We're going to be actually running this code when the user clicks the submit button on this website right here. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to make this an asynchronous function, because this function is going to be calling our API endpoint, which means that we're going to be sending data, which is going to be very slow, which is why we're going to make this asynchronous. So let's go ahead and reorganize our code a little bit. We can take output, put that over. Put that over here. ID, okay, perfect. Then what we can say is, so after this username, we're also going to return actually, because we don't want the user to be able to upload an image without a name for the file. So let's go ahead and see how we are actually going to be uploading our image. First thing we're going to do is create a payload, which is going to be new form data. We can call this bun form, because that's our ID. And then what we can say, what this payload is going to do, you can think of it as a suitcase almost. You can keep shoving things into this payload, and then eventually it is going to be sent to our final endpoint, where it will be able to be uploaded to our database. So after that, what we can say is const rest is equal to await fetch, and what we can say is endpoint options, like that. So we can say our endpoint this is going to be our bunny image upload function. So if you'll click this, get function URL, go ahead and copy that URL, paste that in here. So this is the thing that we'll be uploading to our database right here. So right now we're writing a front end to interact with our backend serverless function. Right, after that, what we can say const options is going to be equal to method. Since we're going to make a post request, we're going to say post. Body can be the payload, and then headers. If you'll recall, we have to specify code name, which is going to be our it's going to be our name of the file, of our image once we upload it, right? Code name, this is just going to be the username. Oops, do not need a colon there, and we also need a comma here, so we're getting a lot of errors, right? Username, right? Everything is done right here, and we can say const data is equal to await rest.text, because we're not sending back JSON, we're sending back text, and we can say output.text content is equal to your image has been stored successfully, instead of thanks, so we don't need that anymore. Right, so let's go ahead and test this. It should work. Oh, sorry, actually, before we do that, what we're going to need to do is we're going to modify CORS. So what CORS does is, it actually only allows, what CORS is going to do is, it's going to prevent certain URLs from making requests. However, since our current URL we're testing locally is localhost 127.0.1, and our actual function URL is like serverless demo 1.azure websites, we're going to need to enable CORS, so this will allow us to actually make requests from our localhost URL. Let's go ahead and look at how we do this. Change it to a wildcard operator, change CORS. So all this does is it allows us, I think what they want us to do is like that. So let's go ahead and click CORS. Yeah, so what this is going to allow us to do, let's go ahead and click the check mark. Click save. So what this does is it's going to allow all URLs to make requests to this server, right? Which is why it's a star right there. So let's go ahead and try this. We might get an error, but try to diagnose it as we go. Say test, click submit, and let's see what happened. Was there an error? Ooh, there was an error because it's not supported. Failed to construct form data. Parameter 1 is not a HTML form element. Oh, okay, so I think I know what's wrong here. I think it's because we do not need quotes around button form. Sorry about that. Let's go ahead and click test.jpg, test, click submit again. Click it, let's see what we get as a response. Okay, so we get an internal server error. Okay, so let me diagnose this real quick and then we'll figure out what's wrong and be right back.